I spent $500 on Temu's best workshop items. This means tools, bracketry, pickup claw thingy, and more. I'm also going to put these to the test to see if we really snagged a bargain or if these tools belong in the bin, because this stuff is suspiciously cheap. Proudly supported by Superior Engineering, iTech World, and in part by...
Now this whole toolkit right here, which I'll show you guys in a sec, it's pretty cool. Could be yours for $6.59. If you guys don't have Temu, I've got a coupon code up on the screen now. You can scan that or jot the code into the search bar and you can pick this up for $6.59 and that is a freaking bargain. I'll show you this in a sec, but they will also have all of this listed under that coupon code. So if you wanted to check out anything that we are going to show today, you can jot that in, find all the products that we're using. If you want to pick something up that I show, that is the way to do it. And thank you to Temu for sponsoring today's episode. Right, so let's go ahead and start unboxing some stuff. Now, some of this stuff is tools that I genuinely just think are cool to show you guys, and some of this stuff I actually really needed. I'm gonna start with a silicone face mask. Now, I know this isn't really a tool. Well, it is kind of because it's safety, but this thing here is gonna be awesome. So it's like safety glasses and a vent all in one. So you can paint with this. I do a lot of painting and we are going to do some painting in today's episode because we've got the bar work to do, but I always end up with paint in my eyes. So this is going to really help with that. And it's something that I desperately needed. Now, if you guys remember the Falcon, we are slamming that on its guts. And in order to do that, I needed some coil spring compressors. There's no real easy way to compress a coil to take it off of the shock in a modern day car. So you do kind of need either spring compressors or take it to a shop. These here are going to save us a ton of time so we can compress the coil down, take the coil off the shock and then put the new one on and compress it down with these as well. So a much needed tool in the arsenal. We're basically just going to quick fire unbox all this stuff and then we can go ahead and start testing some of it. Now, this is a little mini magnet tray. These are really handy to just have close by for little bolts, screws, and nuts. So it was only a couple dollars for this. I figured let's have it for when we pull the transmission apart. Now this here is your average test light, except it's a little bit better. It's actually got a voltmeter in the screen there. So you can not only test that you have voltage so it lights up, but it also tells you how many volts is there. Nice long lead on it. Great for testing. I recommend testing with a test light over a multimeter if you're doing 12 volt diagnostics. Now some of this stuff isn't exactly tools, but it is workshop related. Now this is a tool that we can screw to the wall to hold our grinders, which we'll set up in a sec. But I really wanted to have a grinder with a flap wheel, a grinder with a cutoff wheel, and a grinder with maybe some other wheel on it, just ready to go because I'm sick of changing discs. So I thought this would be a really good addition to have over near our welding section. So we'll get that installed very shortly. A lot of the reason this stuff is so cheap is just because it's coming direct from the supplier. It's not touching 3 or 4 hands before it gets to the consumer. And obviously they're just saving on packaging. Like, why have this in a nice box and pay for it when you can just have it in a bit of plastic and be done with it? Now this is something that I've needed for a very long time and it sounds stupid, but these are sort of like an impact torque set. They're not exactly impact, although they are black, so I'd have to check that, but these are a torque set that can go into a 1/2 inch drive here. Is that going to focus? Like that. So you can use these for a bunch of different stuff. If you strip out an Allen key head, these are perfect for getting those out. It's how I do it all the time. But I'm actually really excited for this one here because I just love getting new tools. This is a 1/2 inch ratchet. Now, sometimes with a 1/2 inch ratchet, you don't have enough torque on it. So what we can do here is pop that down, pull the head out, and all of a sudden we've got a breaker bar with a ratchet attached to it. Now it is also a 90 tooth, it says it right there, which means that the clicking is very close to itself. So if you're up against a wall and you can only do one little click at a time, that is ideal. This is going to be a really handy thing to have in the shed. I really don't know how to explain this, but this is a syringe claw is what I'm going to call it. But you can see if it focuses away from my face. Not only does this kit come with that though, it comes with a large telescopic magnet like that. It also comes with a smaller telescopic magnet like that, and it comes with a mirror. You guys can see yourself there, vlogception. For the cost of this stuff, it is an absolute no-brainer to have this in your toolbox at home. Now we'll get onto this toolbox here. Now this is the $6.59 special. If you don't have the app, download it, jot the code in, you'll get this for $6.59. Pretty astounding price. But what this is for us is this is a full kit that we can keep in Alicia's car, so that if we have a problem on the road, we can just take this out and we've got pretty much everything that you need to do a bodgy job on the side of the road. It's got a bunch of different screwdrivers, pointy noses, a shifter, all your spanners here, a socket set, a hammer, a level, both metric and imperial Allen keys. It's literally the perfect kit to just keep in the back of your car, just in case you need some tools if you're out on the tracks or something like that. I got 4 bumper tires. This is for the Falcon. I just wanted to show that you can get some obviously different stuff out there. The bumper is nearly fallen off the Falcon, so I'm gonna go ahead and put these on. I don't know if we'll do that today, but that's what they're for. Now, Temu is a really great place to not only get your tools, but I've been buying a bunch of consumable stuff off these guys for a long time. These I haven't actually seen before. We're gonna try them out today. It is a grinding Scotch pad. So you can put that on a grinder and you get a Scotch pad. And I've been buying these 5-inch flap disc for a long time. They are really good quality. You guys know that these at the shop are over $4 each sometimes. So pick these up, dirt cheap, all different grits with these. And it's just something to keep in mind. If you get low on something, just jump on Temu, check if they've got it. Bang, order, rocks up at your door, mint. Now these are a deep impact socket set, 1/2-inch drive. And the beauty of these is they're nice and thin walled there. And they're also a single hex. They've only got 6 sides on them as opposed to 12, so they slip a lot less. If you're doing exhaust studs, anything that's rusty, you want to use a single hex socket. And then the deep socket is also really good for just getting over a stud or something like that. But this set is really, really handy. Look how skinny, that's a 16. Look how thin wall that is. It is perfect for getting over and into a tight spot. Right, now I've saved the best for last, or the thing I'm actually most excited for when we are going to be using this today. But I do a lot of painting. I painted Ron Burgundy, I paint my own bar work, I do a lot of freaking painting. We've got a bunch of different nozzles, so we can do a 1.7, a 2.0. So what these are good for is different types of paints. If you're spraying a primer, if you're spraying a 2K base coat or something like that, you're gonna need to change the tip out to the correct size. So much nicer than my gun. I'm really, really excited to try this out. There's actually people online that are comparing these to their $500 spray guns and saying that these are really, really good. We actually have all the bar work that needs to be prepped and sprayed, and we're gonna be doing that with this gun and testing it out, and I'll give you guys my honest opinion. But so far, that looks and feels absolutely mint. So what I'm gonna do first is sort out this grinder situation. Not that grinder. This is my welding section, and I'm thinking about putting that up there with the 3 different types of grinders ready to go, so we can just pull them off. God, that's getting worse. And yeah, then we can put this on the wall, have them all up there ready to go, and let's just do that first, eh? Right, that's the grinder rack done. So you can see I can just quickly pull that up and out, use the grinder, slap it back in, and that is done. One ready to go with the flap disc, one ready to go with the Scotch pad, and one ready to go with the cut wheel. Already we're making big moves. Whoops, I dropped a screw in a really hard spot to get to. But luckily, we got the claw.
Who's in charge here?
The claw.
Right, now we're going to test out the voltmeter here with the LED indicator. Right, you can see there we've got 11.8 volts and a green light. Now I think you should be able to, on a test light, go the positive clamped and the negative on, and you get a red light and 11.8 volts still. So you can test positive and negative, and it tells you that with a red light or a green light. This here is staying in Alicia's car. Perfect toolkit to just have while you're camping, and if we break something on the road, that's going to be handy. Now I need to refit this rear bar onto the Patrol because I want to modify the swing away. So I'm going to get that up there, and then I'm going to use my new extendable breaker bar, ratchet bar, whatever we're going to call it, and our deep socket set in order to get those bolts super tight so it doesn't move. You know, this is actually the perfect situation for this too, because we've got a bar here and a bar there, and we don't have much to spin it, but that's where the 90 tooth comes into. And then these bolts have to be extra tight, so we can ratchet that all the way back to there. We've got way more torque now. The main reason that I needed the rear bar on is because I want to modify this swing away while we get the chance before we paint it. I want the tyre to sit on an angle in line with the back of the cab like that. I don't want it to sit flush up and down, which is currently how it is. I'm going to flat wheel this back using the Temu flat disc. This rack is actually awesome. That has paid itself off tenfold already. So now that I look cool and I got that prepped up, we're ready to tack weld it on and check the position. Oh, that's perfect. It's not pushed up all the way, like it still has to go to about there. But when it sits, see how it kind of just hugs the car now? That looks sick. Right, time to take this bar off and start thinking about paint. Honestly, that tool is pretty cool. Definitely paid off then, so keeping that one in the box forever. Right, so what I want to test now is this Scotch pad here on the bull bar and probably some of the other bar work as well. Now, sanding the flat section is quite easy, you just use a sanding pad, but getting into all these little nooks and crannies on top of these welds and making sure that is perfect is quite hard. I'm hoping that's where this pad is going to come in clutch, because we can kind of get it into the weird sections right along the bar and in there, and just get to all the weird places. Now, Scotch pad is not very aggressive at all, so it's not going to take off any material. It's just scuffing it back in order so we can get some paint on it. Honestly, that has to be one of the best things so far. Prepping sucks. I hate prepping for paint, but that has made it so much easier. All the gussets, all the weird welds and weird nooks to be able to get into. But now I need to go through and prep all the bar work in order to get it in paint so we can test our paint gun and test our mask. Right, now these out of 10 are pretty much an 8. Now, they would be a 10 if they didn't wear down so quickly, but I think that's just the nature of the beast with these things. But for the price, honestly, these are worth having. And if you've got bar work or anything to prep, then great option, honestly. So I want to try this mask out. Now, I've never had a full covered face mask before. So this will have the ventilators on each side. It's safe for 2K paint, and it is basically a full face mask. So that goes on your head, covers your eyes, mouth, everything like that. where before I was only using one like this. You can see how filthy they get. Now I think what the biggest benefit to this is, it's not covering your eyes. It's actually the fact that when you wear these paint masks like this, the paint can kind of sneak up through here, and I always end up with paint right around my nose. So you can kind of tell that the filters aren't filtering and it's making its way through there. This way, the whole face mask is sealed. So I can't see how paint is going to get in there at all. I think this is going to be the best option.
I can literally feel it suction cupping to my face.
That neck strap is just so you can dangle it down like that, and then you can quickly
Do that. It's actually so sick. Can't believe I haven't had this before.
Right, I also did get this little regulator off Temu as well. So it's a moisture trap, and then I can regulate by using this valve here rather than doing it at the air compressor. So that now is pretty much the gun set up. Now I wanted to just quickly compare to my current spray gun that I have. You can see that's the nozzle there. There is a bunch of holes in the middle. You can see that. Check out this one. It's got a bunch of tiny little holes in there in a much better spot, or a much different spot. So I'll be curious to see the difference between this one versus the one I've had. But the next thing to do is to go and test it. Right, now in my carport, I've made a little makeshift spray booth. It's gonna be hard for you guys to see in here, but got the bull bar hanging up, got the rear bar, and got the spare tire swing away. I can't actually fit the sliders in, so I'm gonna have to do this in 2 batches. But we're gonna hit this with primer, and then we're gonna hit it with some color. When I'm painting, if you're mixing, you should always have a mask on because all the fumes are coming up and you don't wanna be breathing that stuff in. So I'm gonna mix up some etch primer. It's an epoxy single pack etch primer, and I'm going to be putting the mask on, mix that up. Once that's done, I'll go ahead and set the gun up with the pressure, the fan pattern, all that sort of stuff, make sure that everything is A-okay to spray. Then we can go ahead and lay the primer on.
So far, I literally cannot smell one bit of paint, which is amazing. I know for a fact my other mask, all I can smell is paint. Perfectly fanned out. You can see there's no mist. There's nothing coming off the side of it. So if I hold my hand here, there's no paint on my hand. I mean, there's a little bit from mixing it up, but nothing sprayed onto my hand. There's no overspray.
I've got the gun all set up, so we are ready to try the 2K color now. This is where this gun is gonna shine, in my opinion, just making sure everything's nice and even and not too much orange peel. A lot of it does come down to technique, but honestly, going from my gun to this gun, huge difference. So keen to see what the color's like. So I've just finished up the second coat, and you guys can see how flat this paint actually turned out. Now I am going to put that down to the gun because typically I do get a lot of orange peel, and this is the exact same paint that I always use from my local paint supplier, so nothing's changed besides the gun. But yeah, I'm not just saying that. You can go back and check my other videos. I've never had paint sit that flat straight out of a gun. It was just super easy to sort of get the texture down, and wasn't like pumping the paint on, which is good. So I need to let all of that dry so I can get the sliders in and spray it. But for the price, under $100 bucks, this is a very good gun. Link will be in the description. that is definitely one thing you do need to check out if you're doing DIY stuff like me. And then this mask, that was honestly a game changer. I don't have obviously a vented booth. You can see the paint where it sits on the face mask. So using a normal mask, it definitely does stick in. I could feel it in my throat. This time I feel good. I feel like I don't have any paint down my throat, which is obviously a good thing. Now, even though Temu are supporting this video, I've been buying off them for years. I can't even begin to think how much stuff from Temu I have used in this shed, and there's still a whole heap of consumable stuff like the bolts. I think I have a ton of stuff in this consumable cabinet from them. I have crimp connectors, I have pliers, tools, a whole bunch of stuff that before I even done these videos, I've been buying off them. But thanks to them for supporting this video so that I can review this stuff and you guys get to watch it and you don't have to spend any money. But if you do want anything that was shown in today's episode, just use that code. It'll pop up on the app, everything that I've got in there. You can pick what you want then. If you've got a painting project, you can pick that same gun up. You can pick the socket setup, that extendable ratchet. All of that will be listed on there. So definitely check them out. I actually forgot that there is one more product as well, but I have been using it. That's why I forgot about it and you didn't see it yet. But this light here is from Temu. It just screws into a normal light fitting and then you get a whole bunch of adjustable LED brackets here. Now, out the back here, there is no lighting and it was really hard for us to sort of eat dinner at night here. I actually had to go and turn the shed lights on. But since we got that, it has been absolutely mint. So that will also be on the list in the app. Just a quick update after the video. I've just removed the bull bar from the rack. It is fully dry and it is very, very flat. It's a little bit dusty, but as you can see, can't get much better of a paint job than that. It honestly turned out really, really nice. And then this is the rear bar. You can see that is like dead flat. I'm very impressed with that gun. If there's anything you want to take out of today's video for a DIYer, that is the go right there. Even the spare tire holder, and tube's quite hard to paint, is perfectly flat. You can see that. Anyway, just thought I'd update that just in case anyone was wondering how it all dried.